but not Buddy. He was all concentration in the chute and might rewrap his bull rope 5 times before he would call outside. You wouldn't guess that from looking at him, though. He is small and wiry, the way the very best rough-string riders are. Looks like he's as tough as leather, and is, in fact, a whole lot tougher and more durable than he looks. He has a wild, curly mop of black hair that never has been tamed, and high, round, apple-rosy cheeks that a whole lot of girls used to find mighty appealing and kissable. He has a mouthful of gleaming ivory that he flashes constantly, and even as a kid he had laugh crinkles around his eyes and mouth. All of that still seemed to be the same, including the dimples that showed themselves when he smiled, which he was doing now. I clapped him on the shoulder and guided him toward the house and a Coors Light. "You're an amazement, Buddy. I wouldn't have thought you could find your way back here after all this time. I sure am glad you did, though." I broke out a couple cold ones, and Buddy followed me to slouch against the door jamb of the bathroom while I washed the blood and dust off and toweled myself dry. Like the other fellows on the team, Buddy had been here once or twice on weekends while I was in school. That was when my grandfather had been running the place, as his father had done before him. Now, that had been a long time ago, though, and you have to know the right dirt road to take out of Lake George, in the high country between Pikes Peak and South Park, or you can find yourself damn well confused, if not exactly lost. Buddy laughed. "The first time I set out to see you, I wound up at a place called Tarryall. The second time I asked for directions." "At least you're honest about your ignorance." We went into the living room, which is the only room of any size in the house, and got comfortable in the dark, woody, over-furnished room, cluttered with stuff deposited there by several generations of Hellers. It's a place of guns and branding irons and deer heads, and I've often wondered how a room so marvelously comfortable could have survived the generations of womenfolk who had to be there for the propagation of those generations of Hellers. I propped my feet up and lit a cigarette and took a long, soothing swallow of Coors. "So, what the hell have you been up to the past 100 years or so?" For a moment, Buddy's smile faded, which I suppose should have told me something, but it was back in place after a flicker. "You aren't still rodeoing, are you?" He laughed and shook his head. "No, I quit that 6 years ago, after I made the national finals in Saddle Bronc." He said that with a hint of pride that I considered to be more than justifiable. Only the best received that invitation. And having once made it to Oklahoma City in December, it would be a fine time to retire. Riding rough stock is a young pup's game. My first love had always been the roping events, while Buddy had always preferred the riding. But a man can rope or cut until senility makes him forget why he's out there, while a rider has to draw the line early. "I read about you qualifying that year," I said. He grinned happily, and I got the impression Buddy had enjoyed those years awfully well. "You remember Juanita?" "How could I forget the prettiest girl in the school? Well, of course I remember her. Hell of a nice girl, as I recall." Suspecting what might be coming next, I avoided death by terminal embarrassment and refrained from making the juvenile gesture of 2 hands cupped far in front of a male chest. Juanita Hernandez hadn't only been pretty, which she undeniably had been, she'd also required bras that must have been real marvels of stress engineering, Buddy's grin got all the wider.
Juanita and me made it legal a year before I quit.